Welcome to the Fleet Geeks Podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoyed the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook.
There's three of us today. Woo-hoo!
Back to full strength.
Woohoo! Yeah, back to full strength. We're only at half strength. Last week, weren't we, Mike, with that Jamie?
Third strength, yeah.
Oh, I've just realised, actually, that I need to edit that name, don't I? I need to edit my name. How do I do that?
Well, have you changed your name and you haven't told us?
No, because I've not got Jamie on here, have I?
Ah, yes, yeah.
I need to edit that.
There's a little menu button at the top.
Oh, that's it. Look, he's got this.
Yeah, we've got an IT geek in there, let alone a fleet geek.
There we
synonymous with IT geekery, I am.
Yeah. I'm not going to try and spell his surname though, Mike. Not live anyway.
It'll get you a few points at Scrabble though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll get a few points at Scrabble. I think it's too many letters for Scrabble though, isn't it?
Can we say that?
I don't know. Unless someone put ski and then you could add it then, couldn't you? But you're not. Yeah. Oh no, you're allowed names now. Anyway, we digress. With a bit of banter. But yeah, we're back at full strength this week. Welcome back to Jamie, having done his fours prep for one of our clients last week. We're all here, and we're going to be talking about the thing on everybody's lips just now, and it's not. I don't know.
Not the weather.
Yeah, it's not the weather. What's on everyone's lips at the moment?
Monkeypox. Well, hopefully it won't be on anybody's lips.
Oh, yeah, monkeypox. There we go. Well, that's going to date the episode then, though, isn't it? But anyway, we're dating the episode because it's today that the rules have gone live. I don't know. Is it law or is it regulation? I don't know.
It's a difficult one. This one, it is because it doesn't affect. It's not UK law; it's EU law. But because you have to have it is kind of because you have to have an international operator's license now to operate vans between 2.5 and 3.5 tons.
That's what we're talking about, anyway.
Abroad, yes, indeed. That's what we. Before I look
about vans over 2.5 tons.
Over 2.5 tons, so anything over 2.5 tons now into Europe. But I was interested to think about, is it law? Yeah, well, it is because you need an international operator's license, and that's UK law. So, although it's something that isn't, I think one of the points I think we'll probably get onto later. People are saying, "Oh, this is a foretaste of things to come, and we'll all be having operators' licenses for vans in domestically," which I don't think we will, but. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, what do you know about this, then, fellas? What's the crack then with vans into Europe? What have we been hearing on the grapevine?
Well, if I've looked at a little bit of this and I've confused myself a little bit more, I'll be perfectly honest. Hopefully, you'll be able to put us straight, Mike. No pressure. Obviously, you're going to need a transport manager. Hold an international license. There is a caveat that if you can prove that you've been managing fleets of vans for the last 10 years, I think from 2020, that is. You have a bit of a stay until 2025, where by that point, then you've got to take your CPC exam.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like I know what I'm on about at the minute, but that's going to change. But there's a few things that confuse me. Things like the MOT, a van is a class 4 MOT. So what happens then? Does it now have to go for the annual test?
No, I think it doesn't affect construction and use.
It doesn't affect.
So I don't really think it affects things like MOTs. But of
what
course,
happens if you get pulled over on the roadside and got a prohibition? Then what would happen?
Yeah. So in terms of your maintenance,
the vehicle's on the operator's license, isn't it?
It's on the operator's license. Yeah. So in terms of your maintenance, you're going to have to go if you operate vans, essentially, because that's what we're talking about now. Well, actually, say vans. A large number of people, it seems, not that I'm aware of this, but a large number of people seem to be operating cars. With trailers and the combination. So it's not just the van or the vehicle itself, it's a combination. If the gross vehicle weight is above 2.5 tons, which you think about it, that would be like those big Volkswagen Tiguan's and things like that. If they're pulling a trailer, say with a car on the back or something along those lines, they're going to need to be included on your operator's license as well. So it's not just vans, it's potentially cars as well. They're going to have to go on your operator's license, and as such, they're going to have to go on your maintenance schedule. But as far as I'm aware, that obviously, like any other vehicle, you can set your maintenance, you can set your inspection frequencies as you see fit, and but it will have to presumably then have to fall in line with the Guide to Maintaining Roadworthiness, which means an inspection at least every at the very, very most 13 weeks. So that's what, that's what
I looked into that, Mike, and I've read the Guide to Maintaining Roadworthiness, which was updated not too long ago, was it?
Yeah.
Could do with that guidance, could
Vague,
Mike?
vague.
Very vague, yeah.
What I have heard is included though. So there's a few questions I've heard people ask, and one of them was, will the van take up some of your license allowance?
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. Flagship Partners offer a range of consultancy and training services to ensure that our customers remain compliant and have the best possible knowledge to be able to fulfill their work. If you're interested in support with any of our safety, HR or compliance services, or you want to train to be a transport manager or need driver CPC training, give us a call today.
Yeah. And it will, won't it? You need to. You'll need to declare it on your operator's license on Goods Vehicle Online, and therefore it's one of your allocated vehicles, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you went and did a bit of a case study, let's say that Fred's Transport Limited at the moment operated 5 HGVs and 5 vans, and intended to operate them abroad. Then Fred's HGVs Limited only had, or Fred's Transport Limited only had an authorization for 5 HGVs, then they're going to need to seek a major change to their license. They're going to have to seek an increase in their authorization.
And that is financial standing as well.
Financial standing. If you're an existing operator, the financial standing means that for your vans, to add your vans on within the margin, if you've got a margin, it's £800 a vehicle. So it's less. But of course, if you don't have an operator's license and you are running vans, just solely vans, then you're going to need a new application for an operator's license. And the £8,000 for the first vehicle still stands as far as I can see. So, to run 5 vans, you're going to need £8,000 plus £800 each for every subsequent van. Subsequent. I got told off for saying subsequent the other day. Subsequent van.
I must admit, I read some contradictory guidance to that, because I read £1,600 for the first vehicle, and then £800.
You may be right on that. But
yeah, I also read what you just said as well.
Yeah, no, that's So £1,600 for the first vehicle, £800 for every subsequent vehicle. That's if you're a new license holder, but if you're an existing license holder, it's £800.
You're already in, right?
But I suppose if you take it back a little, if you take it back a notch, if you were just a standard operator, if you had got a standard national operator's license already, then you're still going to have to go up to a standard international. So transport manager, blah blah blah. So
and we all know that international transport managers are worth more than national transport managers, don't we, Mark?
Well, I may disagree with that.
Absolutely. And again, for those listeners the listener who is not aware of that, since 2011, it's a combined exam now, so you have to take this international and the national. There's plenty of people with nationals around, and that would obviously have to upgrade to an international for this. Do we know though, fellas? Do we know? I mean, anecdotally, I saw a post. I think our good friend James Adcroft put a post up from the Microlease conference the other day and said that I think he was quoting Richard Turfitt and said that only had 279 applicants so far. I'm surprised it's 279. On the rare occasions that I've been to Dover and Calais and Dunkirk and what have you, I don't recall seeing that many UK registered vans waiting to cross. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it's I think it's a bigger thing. Foreign vehicles coming here.
I do, yeah.
Is what I think. So I've got to be a bit careful how I say this, but I see a lot of Eastern European 2.5 to 3.5 ton curtain side vehicles coming into the UK. That's the main. Like, we've not had. I can say categorically from Flagship Partners' point of view, we've not had a single inquiry for someone to help, for us to help them. Excuse a really loud radio outside. Someone's just pulled up and they've got like a nightclub or something.
It is, it's not my taste of music, but we'll go with it.
It's pretty loud.
Mobile DJ.
Yeah. But there's nothing. We've not had any inquiry come through or anything like that.
No.
I've not really seen. So the other place that normally you would see the inquiries is on the Facebook groups. You'd see people asking for transport managers for this type of operation, and I haven't really seen any of those either, to be honest.
I've been looking through A's and D's. I mean, as you'll be pleased to know, Pete, I haven't really got time to go through all the A's and D's, but I've been having a kind of brief. What's he doing?
Like a slave driver.
Applications and decisions, dear listeners. Applications and decisions, which you'll find is a great place for if you're nosy. And I think all three of us, if we were have to confess a little bit, we are a little bit nosy with stuff.
Yeah.
If you look in applications and decisions, all new applicants and all new variations to operators' licenses, etc., are in applications and decisions of 8 traffic commissioners, and to have to go through all those would be a nightmare. But I can't, again, just anecdotally, I've not seen a great deal of as Richard Turfitt says, 279. So
it's not a big number, is it? Considering there's tens of thousands of vehicle operators in the UK.
I spoke to a guy the other day who was having a bit of a panic about it, and I said, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "Well, we move pharmaceuticals across," and I said, "Well, whose are they?" He said, "Well, ours." We said, "If actually it's all internal, we just send them to other branches across Europe. We need not even distribute to them, but end customers." Well, restricted operators license. You're restricted. You don't need an operator's license because it's a restricted. You wouldn't need one, a standard international anyway. So. Do nothing.
Oh yeah, because that's the other point, isn't it? They're moving their own goods. This is only for van
only for hire and reward.
Yeah. It is confusing, isn't it? It is confusing.
It is. It's only for hire and reward, which I think takes a lot of people out the game. I just don't see. I might be wrong, and please, what we want is people to interact with these sort of things and tell us that you're absolutely barking. There's hundreds of operators who are every day going down to the channel ports and crossing to Europe. I just don't think there is.
No, I can't think what market would be exporting out there on these vehicles.
On vans, it's I mean, couriers maybe. I once knew of a company. I did some work at a company down in Dover who were couriers, and basically their specialism was taking vans. But I mean, they're going to be well ahead of the. They're going to be well ahead of the curve. Is what they do.
They'll be on it already. Interesting. Well, I think it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds over the next sort of 6 months, and just see how people deal with it and how it's enforced, and we'll start to hear some stories of what's been happening. Right? I would have thought.
As with most things, we wait and see. So, in summary, then, if you've got a van and you're operating at over 2,500 kilograms or 2.5 tons, that puts us into Ford Transit kind of Connect territory, really, doesn't it? And VW Transport, that type of thing.
Yeah, it falls car-derived vans fall into this.
Yeah, and if you're pulling trailers, even a car, it doesn't just stop at anything over 2.5 tons combination weight or gross vehicle weight if it's just the vehicle. So you're going to need an international operator's license if you're moving goods for hire or reward, which is basically you're moving third-party goods; they're not your goods. You're going to need that international operator's license. There's a bit of a sort of bedding in period in terms of an operator's license requiring a transport manager. As Jamie said earlier, if you can prove you've had 10 years experience in managing vans, then you've got until 2025 to take your international transport manager exam. You're going to need that financial standing, and of course you're going to need room on your operator's license. If you haven't already got a margin, you're going to need the margin, or you're going to need additional vehicles to cover that lot. And I think, and I think personally, I'm not sure about the MOTs. Good question about the MOTs. That Jamie, but I think because they're on your operator's license, they're going to have to be on your maintenance schedule. So probably a little bit more frequent servicing for vans or inspections of vans wouldn't go amiss, would it? Really?
No, true.
And I guess just from a driver management point of view, because we've talked a lot about the maintenance side of things. I'm aware that you're not going to need a CPC because the CPC, the license isn't going to be recognised.
Yeah.
So they're not going to need a CPC. They're definitely going to want to make sure they follow a vehicle check process.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
They're going to want to drive a defect and reporting process, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tachographs.
So tachographs are not going to be required according to the mobility package. Tachographs not required until 2026.
Okay.
However, in Germany, as I understand it, in Germany, they require the use of logbooks, which of course we don't in the UK. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because that brings that into a little bit of so vehicles.
I was going to get up the GB domestic rules, and it's not GB domestic,
but it's not GB domestic. So my understanding is Germany require the AETR logbooks to be used in Germany. So I think you can get them from our the various trade associations, etc., the RHA, Logistics UK, whoever. So that's the AETR kind of recording hours. I don't know what they call it actually, 'cause it's not domestic, is it? The recording of hours. I think you require that for Germany, certainly, but I wouldn't mind betting some of the other countries, make a record of your hours. That's probably the key, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to say, I won't fuck around.
You could drive to the south of Italy in a van without a tacho without stopping, couldn't you? To some of the fuel.
Yeah,
so,
very much so.
You're right. They're going to regulate it to that extent.
Yeah. So there we go, folks. If interesting to see,
it's very interesting
in the comments, whatever. Yeah. Obviously, we never mean these things to be a sales pitch, do we, fellas? But we're always here to help. It's like everybody. We're well versed with operators licensing, but this is a reasonably new thing. But we will be all over it if you need our help. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing is often with these things when they come in is we only have so much time and so much capacity to be able to focus on certain things. So until someone comes in and says, I need this help, in which case we'll pull the resources to make sure that we can support it and offer the required services. But until such point, there's, we'll essentially just chew the fat over it and keep an eye on it, right? So I think, it's very, very interesting to see, really.
Yeah.
So,
Lauren, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I hope you've hated today's podcast, and I hope that you don't share it with anyone. And I hope that you don't listen again. No, I'm joking.
But if you do,
please do like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you found this interesting. Please do join the community over on Facebook. We've got free networking on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. So please do sign up for that. And we'd like to hear your thoughts and your experiences as well around particularly this new situation, any stories or anything like that. Please do share them with us, and you can join the conversation. That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.